I was waiting for the light to plump. We saw Keanu, and it was hilarious.
It was the cutest.
It was adorable. The most adorable, violent-ass, vulgar, R-rated comedy in recent memory.
I loved it so much. It was all I anticipated it being and more.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, more embarrassing than I expected, but not in a way that...
Not like Vacation.
Exactly. Not in a way that made me fear for the characters, because it seemed like they set up a universe where, yeah, embarrassing things were happening to them, but they were probably going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. And this movie totally appeals to me, because I would do all of this.
If Lloyd accidentally got captured?
Oh, if my cats got captured? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. There would be bodies.
Like, I could see for Joey going through this shit, but Suki's kind of a douchebag.
Oh, they'll give her back.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll destroy their blinds and meow them awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll leave her on my porch with a note that says, "This cat's a douchebag."
Maybe they would end up giving Lloyd back, because they'll wake him up at 6 in the morning like he does
Just
me.
sleeping on their face.
Trying to kill them in their sleep.
It is his way.
The movie starts out where the kitten belongs to this drug running ring, and there's this like Boondock Saints style shootout in which everyone dies except for the two shooters and the cat, and it's this charming opening credit sequence with this happy music playing as if I'm watching like a Homeward Bound.
And this cat it seemed like they were setting up that the kitten grew up into a cat during that opening credit sequence, but then it showed up on his front porch and he was back kitten-sized again. So I don't know, maybe they just couldn't find a kitten-sized stunt cat for that part.
I didn't notice that. But they do explain why he is a kitten throughout the entire movie.
He's got a rare disease.
He's gonna be a kitten forever.
I want one of those.
Oh, then I wouldn't be able to call him Big Lloyd if he was just a kitten.
Well, that did explain why 6 months later at the end he was still kitten-sized.
I didn't even think about that until they mentioned it. Like, he's got a rare disease. He's always going to be a kitten. And I was like, oh, right. It is like 6 months later.
This movie did that a lot. We're like halfway through a scene when when they've kind of set you up with movie tropes to believe it to be one thing. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, that's actually actress Anna Faris.
That happens in this movie.
I loved you in House Bunny.
Yeah, they go in to this drug deal Key and Peele do, or well, Peele is out in the van with the rest of the gang, teaching them about George Michael.
Jordan Peele is the one that...
Or, sorry, Key and Michael Key. Sorry. And you want me to tell you about George Michael?
No, I was about to see how you were your way of not being able to tell them apart.
You know that one guy, Key and Peele?
That's his name.
That's better than, like, what was it? Journey to the Center of the Earth 2 with Jared saying, Jules Verne was one person.
No, Jules Verne is one person.
No, not, it was two different people.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
He thought
he thought it was two people named Jules and Verne.
Oh, the look on Irving's face with his flask.
He's just kind of
like, what?
Oh, honey, no.
Oh, no. So Anna Faris pops up in this drug deal and at first...
She's not playing Anna Faris, because Anna Faris is, like, happily married and, like, has a kid and, like, goes fishing on the weekends. So this is, like, a coked-up, makeup-running loft in Los Angeles Anna Faris. And so you figure, like, okay, she's playing a character, like this coked-up actress character. And then all of a sudden, Jordan's like, I loved you in House Bunny. She's like, oh, thank you.
Oh, so this is
Anna Faris, the scary movies.
Yeah, and she starts out the scene, like... kind of like a regular, like, Anna Faris type character where she's kind of just, like, lightheaded and whatnot. But then it progresses to A, she's playing herself, and B, she's terrifying.
She's got, like, a samurai sword at one point, and she's, like, forcing them at gunpoint to play Truth or Dare.
Yeah, it was like, wow, I want to see
Shoot
her
your
in
friend, let me see death.
I want to see her in a psychological thriller.
I'd buy it.
I have seen her in thrillers before, but she is still playing like kind of like the Scary Movie type. Like she was in May, and she was still kind of like an Anna Faris type
like
character.
Like a Last Girl sort of character? Or?
No, she was like the friend of the main. It's been a while since I've seen it, but she's like the friend of the main character, but it's kind of a horror film, but she still plays kind of an Anna Faris type character in it. In this, she gets terrifying, and like this scene ends in a shootout, and I'm watching it like. Is she married to Chris Pratt in this universe?
I was wondering that, but then like later in the movie they kind of explained it.
Yeah, I was bummed by that.
Why?
Because
like you just wanted her to be nuts and then die.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this movie went there. She was nuts and then got 6 bullets in her chest in the scene.
Because like obviously we're getting to spoilers. Like the cop lady who you knew was a cop immediately.
I didn't actually.
Would have had to shoot. Well, I knew she was a cop immediately from the way they were kind of setting it up. So she didn't. She was never wanting to be in a crime scene by herself, and she's like, having him do the actual drug dealing aspect of it. And like if she had actually shot Anna Faris to death, that wouldn't have really worked for that. I think you just got a text message. That wouldn't have really worked for being a cop. I guess in self-defense when you're undercover, I'm not really iffy on how that works, but
I'll have to watch Deep Cover again.
I guess that's where we get all our information.
Yeah, from Lawrence Fishburne movies.
I'll have to watch that part of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Jake's undercover.
I have been watching The Wire. A lot of people get killed in that. But no, like they kind of explain the Anna Faris thing at the end, and
like the cops I guess hire celebrities to help them with fake drug busts.
Like, oh man, really like nutso drug addict Anna Faris. But no, the rest of it is. It's very funny. You have these scenes where because Peele is reeling from this relationship that he was in that just ended, so he's depressed and he has this cat and he's happy playing with the cat and everything. Again,
makes like a calendar of the cat being in different movies. Like The Shining the cat and Point Break cat, or he's like got like a little parachute. Like,
oh yeah. Again, something that totally appeals to me. Because when I go through shit breakups, I got my cats, and plus I put Lloyd in cartoons. He's granted, in this movie, he's putting the cats in like classics, like The Shining, and like...
You're putting in like Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, The Geek, and Nuki. Sorry, Lloyd. At least he gets to shoot Nuki.
This cat was goddamn adorable, and like scenes where it was just exposition were made hilarious by the fact the cat was like just in the corner of the screen quietly napping, or like when at the end when like they got the robbery, he's got his blanket around, and then the cat has like a tiny little robbery police blanket around him.
Yeah, he's got a do-rag on,
so he doesn't go into shock.
He's got like a gold necklace on at one point. God damn, this cat's adorable.
Cute little pointy ears. He's just like a little striped gray guy.
There are people getting just murdered in this film so violently. Like there is one shot in the movie where there's a severed hand on the ground, and in the same shot just this cute cat just kind of
bounding,
bouncing and
gotta get out of here.
Yeah, and it's made suspenseful in like the shootouts and the chase scenes.
Because you're like, I don't want the cat to get hurt.
Yeah.
Like all these people that have been being murdered. Fuck them.
Oh, well, yeah. They probably had it coming.
They
don't shoot the cat.
They definitely had it coming.
Just don't shoot.
Socioeconomical situations, fuck them. So like, yeah, the cat, oh god.
It's like Turner and Hooch. Like, don't shoot the dog. You stupid movie.
That poor dog. Like, again, that movie made me cry, but it wasn't because the dog was dying. It was because of Tom Hanks' reaction to the dog dying.
For me, it was both. It was both Hooch dying, because it was sad and unnecessary.
I'm cat people.
And, well, I am too, but, like, I don't like seeing, like...
You don't like seeing a dog shot to death?
No, I don't like seeing dogs get killed in movies. Like, I have it on videotape, you crying in that movie.
That's different.
What about Johnny Five?
Well, that's different. He's a robot.
And
Robots should live forever.
Oh, he bled
It is God's
very
will.
red blood.
Dying.
Dying! Oh, Johnny, what'd they do to you?
The first time I ever met your Doug, he poked his head around. He's like, "Oh, hey, crybaby."
Really?
Yes.
Remember when he put
Luckily, I know what you're talking about.
Thankfully, yeah. Well, don't you remember when he took the footage of you crying at Short Circuit 2?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Put the mask over it.
I like that people didn't get the jokes in the comments.
No, they didn't.
Like, why does this woman care so much? He's fine.
Like, really? Someone's crying at the mask? Really? What the fuck?
Look, he might have died. It was really sad.
In the mask?
Yeah, when Stanley Ipkiss was in jail, and, it seemed like all was lost, and he had to try to get his dog to get the keys, and he brought it
Not
back
the
to cheese.
The
It was just such a moment of pure despair.
But that wasn't the
tears started leaking down my face.
That wasn't the part he made you cry
No,
at,
he was-
though. It was
I have seen that movie so many goddamn
love that
times.
movie.
I love that movie too.
I actually came. Oh man! At the end, when he finally gets the cat back, and the cat's in the back of Luis Guzman's car, kind of clawing at the window, and he runs and grabs him, and it's this big moment. Hell, I almost teared up at the end of this. I'm just picturing the same thing happened to me, and there's Lloyd in the back, and me just grabbing big old 15-pound Lloyd.
Hey,
out
Lloyd
of
wouldn't be pawing at the window. He'd just be sitting there in your own time, fuckface.
If Lloyd was in a car, he would be.
Does he moo?
Yeah, he yowls when I take him to the vet. He'll be in the passenger seat, and usually someone else is driving. I'll be holding Lloyd up in a towel because he does not go in pet taxi. So
Lloyd does not go in pet taxi.
no, so I got him hold tightly with a blanket and a seatbelt around and everything, and he yowls and whatnot. And so if Lloyd was just sitting in a car, he'd probably just be kind of seated in the seat and just meowing. He might get up and start
Suki goes in pet carriers because she's little and she can't stop me.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of turn her so that she's facing the seat because otherwise she it seems to give her more anxiety. But she makes this really weird mooing noise, and it's very car specific. It's kind of
yeah, Lloyd, you've heard Lloyd he does that around the house, but that just means he wants people to say his name.
He's testing the acoustics.
Yeah, it is kind of echoey in there. And if you say his name, he stops and he comes in. If you just go, Lloyd, he'll stop and then he'll come in the room.
Joey used to do that. You'd have to be like, "We're in here." And they're like, "All right, thank God I was lost."
When I go upstairs to bed, Lloyd will be sitting on a box downstairs. I'll say, time for bed, Lloyd. He'll look up, hop down, and
Lloyd,
run
get that
upstairs.
bitch.
I love my cats. Chloe goes in the pet taxi just fine. She doesn't care.
Suki doesn't really know any commands. She knows fucking stop licking a bag, which means stop licking a bag for 30 seconds and then start licking a bag again. And then she does sun bear, which is if you're not petting her, she kind of puts her paws up like this.
Yeah.
And she's got that white spot on her chest, so she looks like a sun bear, rearing to attack. And that's about it.
Lloyd pops out. He just wants his belly rubbed. He's got a big old Buddha belly.
He's got so much belly to love.
He does. He's got, Lloyd, you are too full of pudding.
Lloyd, is that where you keep your cookies?
Yes, it's where he keeps my cookies.
It's where he keeps everybody's cookies.
Lloyd would love this movie.
So this movie was pretty amazing, and you should go see it if you like fun and cats.
Well, it's really funny, too, how when they have to stay in character in this, because they're pretending to be these criminals, and at first, Jordan Peele is thinking he's going to be the tough one because Key is just a lot more straight-laced and whatnot, but once they snap into these characters, Key is just oddly really, really good instantly.
Well, I think this movie did a really good job of explaining why they were good at being those characters in certain moments. Like when Peele was the best at it, was right when he'd realized the bad guys did in fact have his cat, and so he just kind of got the stare. And just, good motherfuckers. We'd have to be some kind of moron to let a cat like that get away.
Yeah.
And then he did his best after he got off the phone with his wife, because his wife was like out of town, with their daughter, with another family and their daughter, except the other family was just the husband, because the wife had food poisoning, presumably. And, like, in that moment, too, I like that he kind of had a moment of, like, that's weird. Oh, well, I trust my wife. Doom, 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 doom. And so he got a phone call from his wife where she's like, hey, I'm coming home from early. Spencer did something inappropriate, and it made me uncomfortable. And he's like, what did Spencer do? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it when I get home. And so then he had just, like, you could see, like, the rage. At about here. And then he had to go talk to the bad guys, and he did a fantastic job of being a super angry drug runner.
He also did good, too, at just improvising during different situations where when he's trying to be this criminal, in the sense that, like, when they're showing each other their scars, and he knows to show them, like, where the scar where he got his appendix taken out, and making it sound like it's something badass that happened, and even explaining why he's driving this minivan, and, why he's got so much George Michael. Like, there's this whole sequence where...
George Michael, he light-skinned.
He's light-skinned, and he convinces him so much that this is, like, the shit, which it's George Michael, so
George
it is
Michael
the shit.
is indeed the shit.
It
Like,
is
one
the
of them
shit.
gets, like, a torso tattoo of George Michael with the ear and the earring coming down.
He should be proud of that.
But, like, there's certain aspects, he did a good job, but he'd say stuff like, wordness to my turdness.
Even that, like, the other gang members didn't seem to really notice that, except for Peele in the back seat,
Like,
who's wordness to the turdness.
Wordness to the turdness.
That's how I wanted to start out the video, saying that, but I was like, word to the turd something. It's something I've got to start saying more often.
It's wordness to the turdness.
Wordness to the turdness. Fantastic. I hope this movie does really well.
I hope it does too. It had, like, I'm glad I texted you to tell you not to check the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It was the Keanu Reeves thing.
The fact that he does a voice and
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, I googled Keanu so I could see how it's doing on Rotten Tomatoes, and, like, it was all articles like Keanu Reeves, how they talk to Keanu Reeves into being the voice of Keanu the cat. And I'm like, fucking damn it.
Oh, I was wondering what you were referencing in the text. But I knew the Rotten Tomatoes score was high, but so as the movie was going on, I was like, I wonder if it's like that Anna Faris was playing herself, or
So when the cat started talking and it was Keanu Reeves' voice, you didn't think that might be?
I mean, I thought it could, but I also thought it easily could have been like, oh, Anna Faris shows up in this movie, and the twist is that she's playing herself.
Because I didn't look into it more, so I didn't know if it was going to be just for one scene that he had a voice, or if it was going to turn out the cat talked throughout the entirety of it. And
That's
so
a different movie.
I wanted one of us to not know ahead of time, so that, because it, like, I think I was getting in my head about it. But, like, did it surprise you when the cat started talking?
No, it seemed like the kind of thing that would probably happen in this movie. I laughed my ass off.
Ubiquitous high on drugs scene.
Yeah.
We eat the meat, and then together we burn.
You ever see the movie A Talking Cat?
Like a talking cat, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation
Yeah,
point.
a talking cat?
I haven't, but you've told me about it.
Eric Roberts voices the cat in this, and it it sounds like they just simply recorded him off of a speakerphone. That's what he sounds like.
Okay.
And it's a David Dakota movie, and the only thing I can think of that you've seen of his was like 1313 Bigfoot Island. Remember that? With
Is that the one the Bigfoot's raping?
Did Bigfoot rape in that? No, it's the one where it was like the homoerotic movie where it was the guy.
Where the guy was like summoning Bigfoot?
I think it was a girl summoning Bigfoot, but in this it was showing hikers, and it was all these young dudes, and they'd end up at the house and then just start showering.
And then Bigfoot would come and attack them.
Yeah, and you could see the box for the Bigfoot costume in the background, like outside. Do you remember this?
I do, because there was a while where we were just watching a bunch of Bigfoot movies for some reason. We were on a Bigfoot movie kick. And there's that one. The one that I was thinking it was like a 1970s one. The Geek? Was that?
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where Bigfoot's raping that I'm thinking of. But I remember the 1313.
It's sad that I've seen so many
There's
Bigfoot
so many
raping
like
movies.
I've seen multiple Bigfoot movies, but I've only seen the one Bigfoot raping movie.
I've seen a few like that. That's why I wasn't instantly like, oh, The Geek. I was like, well, it could be The Geek. It could be The Geek 2.
Why would I watch Geek 2? I wouldn't know the plot of The Geek, and I'd be
There's no,
lost.
like, all that movie is it's not really even The Geek 2. I think somebody made an alternate title of that on IMDb just to fuck with me. Because all it is like, there's some anthology porno from, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. And one of the segments is called Bigfoot. And it's just this woman going through the woods, like, I'm here to find the elusive Bigfoot creature, and she does and fucks him. It's like 30 minutes long. That's the entire movie.
Like in The Geek, Bigfoot's just like stealing their women and fucking them, and then the guys are like, "Ooh, Bigfoot, we'll get you next time."
Yeah, they're how do I not remember the stupid line off the top? Normally I remember this line. Oh, the one day I'm gonna get that filthy animal. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. It's the only time post seeing that movie where I had to think of the exact quote. Should we do trailers?
Yeah, I've got to get my purse. I need to start putting a different pen in my purse, because with this one, I start writing in my arm, and then I realize I can't see it in the dark, and then I have to fish a receipt out of my purse to write it on that.
Well, I highly recommend Keanu. Go see it if you want to see a good
Final
violent
Thought's
comedy.
fucking adorable.
Yeah, it's adorable, it's hilarious, it's violent. The acting's really good.
And you know what, like at the end, when it was all like, when he got the girl, but then she's like, well, time for you to go to jail for all the crimes that you did. And
you don't see that very much in movies like this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm off to jail.
Yeah, like, you know, in shenanigans movies, you don't really see that a lot. Where like, they're serving time.
That's probably my favorite part of the movie. Like, the cat parts were adorable, but my favorite plot point of the movie was that he went to fucking jail. They both went to jail at the end of that movie.
For like 6 months, so not a really long time. And they built up a reputation, so they're surviving in jail just fine. Like, it's like, all right, they're just kind of getting away for 6 months. No, yeah, that was... I don't want to give too much else away. So, yeah, go see it, because it's like, well...
we gave a fair amount away, but you know what?
Technically, we have given away a shitload of this movie. Now that I think about it, we really did spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah, well, we didn't even explain, like, the bad guys that they were posing as. So that part will be a surprise.
Yeah, go see it.
Okay, so Swiss Army Man, which is the farting zombie movie I've been hearing about on the internet for the past couple months. Like, this preview made it look kind of uplifting and hipster, but all the previews I've read are like, what the fuck, why is he a farting zombie? This is the dumbest movie I've ever seen.
I always wanted to see Castaway meets Weekend at Bernie's, so I'm looking forward to this.
Because it looked like any of those movies, like where Simon Pegg goes around the world to figure out happiness, or like Walter Mitty has an awesome life, except it's a farting zombie. So I don't know if that's what this movie is, or if whoever made the preview for this movie was really trying to make us think that that's what this movie is.
Well, he's doing a lot of stuff in the... Like, he does hallucinate that Daniel Radcliffe, the dead body, is talking. So
that's the thing. Is it a hallucination? Because it seems like he's talking an awful lot at this preview. He's like using it as like a blowgun and a grappling hook.
Yeah, and to like chop shit. He's really getting a lot of use out of this dead body.
He's like Emma Thompson and like a dirigible for some reason.
Considering it's a movie about a guy stranded on, I assume, a desert island. I'm guessing he's probably hallucinating that he's talking to him. That weird shit like that usually happens in desert island movies.
Yeah, it's like Wilson, I guess, except Wilson was a farting zombie.
Except that would have been funny if they animated Wilson's mouth to talk to him.
Yeah, don't give up, Tom Hanks. You and me be friends forever.
This movie's getting dumb.
I never did see Castaway, so all I know is Tom Hanks and his volleyball friend.
It's not bad. And
then he goes home and everything's terrible.
Yeah, kind of. It's one of those movies that gives away everything in the trailer, so just watch the trailer.
The Darkness.
Oh.
Evil Black Magic Darkness.
Yeah, it's the horror movie from the dude who did Wolf Creek. I like Wolf Creek, so...
Like little boy is possessed by the devil.
Kevin Bacon and a ghost. Sure. I like Stir of Echoes.
That's a you and Brian movie. So yeah, I don't even need to worry my pretty little head about it. Okay, When the Bough Breaks.
Speaking of me and Brian movies.
Speaking of you and Brian movies.
That movie is the same plot as that spoof Lifetime movie that Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig did.
Is it really?
Yes, it's the same exact plot.
So someone watched that spoof movie and they're like, it would be funny.
As if it was totes real.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that fucking movie called that they did? I kind of liked it, that Lifetime movie.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, me and Ed watched it.
Vamp. Well, I'll Google it.
No, it wasn't Vamp.
No.
No, what the fuck was that called? Anyway, yeah, it's like they want a surrogate, and they get a surrogate, and the surrogate turns out to be, like, fucking crazy and has a thing for the husband, and there's probably, like, some con artist thing that's going on with it.
A deadly adoption.
That's it. Yeah, a deadly adoption, and this one's called When the Bough Breaks. That looks like it totally looks like one of those that Brian and I go see, where it's like no good deed, or
yeah, and it turns out that it's the woman's fault because she's such a whore.
Like,
it turns out they all get AIDS.
Just one of those movies, like No Good Deed or The Perfect Man, that Michael Ealy one that Brian and I went to go see. One of those movies that's designed for, they usually have some of the same cast members, that's designed for the audience to shout at the screen, where they purposefully make the characters do dumb things, so the audience will like
gaps
cheer.
In the audio.
Nothing really like that, but like, just like somebody will run upstairs when they shouldn't, or they'll leave somebody sitting there when they should probably shoot them. Like, the people who make these movies literally have come out and said that that's why they make these. So people just and Brian and I go see them.
Do you scream at the screens?
No, but it's great because the audience does. We are always the only white guys there when we go see it.
It sounds like you ought to. It sounds like you're supposed to.
I laugh my ass off at the audience. There was one, I think it was like No Good Deed, where the girl sitting next to me goes like, "Oh, girl, you should know karate," or something like that.
I saw the movie H2O in movie theaters.
Halloween H2O?
Yeah, and I remember nothing about that movie, and I remember nothing about that plot. And the only reason I remember that Busta Rhymes was in that movie is because the one thing I do remember is when he came on screen, someone in the audience shouted, "Hey, Buster, pass the Courvoisier."
Well, before the comments say anything, that was Resurrection.
Oh, my mistake.
Not that it...
I don't even remember what the fuck the movie was
Not that it matters.
called,
Both of them
but
suck.
I remember verbatim that they said, "Hey, Busta, pass the Courvoisier."
He starts yelling at Michael Myers when he's in the mask.
He dies and then he comes back. It's like, it's a big thing because Michael Myers is going to kill somebody, and then all of a sudden Busta Rhymes to the rescue. It turns out he's not dead after all.
Just have a sweet Busta Rhymes double feature with Halloween Resurrection and Finding Forrester.
Was H2O like right before Resurrection or vice versa?
H2O was before Resurrection.
Okay, because I seem to recall it was right about the same time, and I'm not remotely embarrassed about getting the name wrong. I've gotten worse things wrong in these reviews.
The only
before.
reason I said anything because I was like, oh, I know what some of the comments will be.
You guys will always talk. Okay, so we got so When the Bough Breaks, yeah, it's like this, it's creepy looking. Birth of a Nation. Now, I've never seen the original. Is this a remake?
No. No,
I seem to recall the original is supposed to be highly racist.
It's very racist.
It seems to be more like from the black people's perspective.
This one's about Nat Turner. The original is a little bit racist. This one looks good. Like it looks really good. I mean, by filmmaking standpoints, the one from 1915, technically good, well made, but racist as shit. It's a very pro-Klan movie.
But they're playing Strange Fruit, which is like one of the prettiest, creepiest songs in existence. And so I couldn't tell if it was just because I really liked that song or because the movie looked good, but I kind of came out of it with a good feeling.
Yeah, that... Which is not something you often say after seeing slave movies.
It looks like a feel-good movie.
That looks like it'll probably be up for some awards.
Yeah, it also looks like a stone cold bummer.
Yeah.
Conjuring 2.
Oh.
I like to see that guy working.
Who, Patrick Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Patrick Wilson. I finally got around to seeing the second season of Fargo, and he's in that. That was fun. It was strange. Suddenly a spaceship shows up.
In
worry.
Fargo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. It kind of... it's just a thing that happens. Like, there's a spaceship. You know? I'm buying it.
And there's like a dome go over the town, and they have to try and figure out how to get out.
Nothing
of
like
the
that.
Dome.
Nothing like that. That happens in the first episode of season 2, and it happens again in one of the last couple episodes where there's this really violent shootout happening, and then
the aliens save everyone.
No, the flying saucer comes down, and then goes away, and Patrick Wilson and Ted Danson are talking later, and they're like, so we should just leave that business about the flying saucer out of the report, right? Yeah, I think so. That's really kind of the only time it's mentioned. I
don't know how I feel about that.
You know what? It kind of works. Kind of like when, you see like weird shit happen like in The Big Lebowski, like, oh, he's on a magic carpet. Granted, that was a dream sequence, but...
there's a video game called Silent Hill, and there's like, it's just super creepy and atmospheric and pretty well put together, and then every once in a while they'll throw in like an alternate ending where it turns out aliens are behind the whole thing, and it's just jarring and incongruous. No,
you kind of have to see it, but it kind of worked. Like, actually, I like the series better than I like the movie. But Patrick Wilson is in the second season. He plays like the younger version of the Keith Carradine character from the first season.
So anyways, the Conjuring 2.
Oh, that's my thoughts on Conjuring 2. Brian, I love the first one, so I'm looking forward to this.
I want to say I saw the first one, but I might be confusing it with The Last Exorcism of Emily Rose.
I mean, the first one still had Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga in it, and Lily Taylor was the mom. Brian and I were at it. Brian and I were at that the same night that you and maybe Dave were at Red 2.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't see The Conjuring, but I do like Patrick Wilson. He was the Owl Man.
He was.
The Nice Guys, which looked amazing.
I'm so excited for that. Shane Black, 70s.
You love you a period piece.
I do, and I love Shane Black movies. So
what else has Shane Black done?
He, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He directed Iron Man 3. He wrote Lethal Weapon and Last Boy Scout.
Okay.
So he's, in terms of like buddy movies with action and a little comedy, he's one of the best there is at writing that shit. He's fucking great. I love Shane Black movies, so I'm excited for this.
This preview made me laugh several times, so I'm excited for that one too, if I get to go see it.
This was a new trailer too for it. Like, I'd seen some other ones, but I hadn't. This must be a trailer for it that just came out.
And then finally I couldn't tell what the name was supposed to be, so I just wrote down everything that was on the screen. And that was Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Yeah, it's like looks like a mockumentary kinda about this like Bieber type pop star who's played by
Andy Samberg. And then it's also got the other two from Lonely Island in there.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of people in it. I laughed a few times in the trailer.
Doesn't really look like your wheelhouse.
It looks like the kind of movie that either this is really gonna work, or it's gonna be something that should have only been a 5-minute sketch.
I would say I do want to see it. I would say it's Andy Samberg, so it's got to be good. But I saw That's My Boy, so I can't necessarily attest to that. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a movie with Andy Samberg in it that I liked.
Did you see Hot Rod?
No.
Me neither.
Wait, is that the one where he's like doing stunts by himself?
Yeah, I think so.
And some people I know really like that movie. I tried watching it and I couldn't get into it.
I never saw it. I mean, he's kind of hit or miss for me, but I don't dislike him.
I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
And I like Lonely Island stuff.
Yeah, some of that stuff is fine.
I like the Hollywood Facts theme song from Comedy Bang Bang.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I shan't explain it to you.
Shan't.
He was on an episode back in like 2011, and he had to make up a song for a game that they played for about 3 episodes. And so they replayed the song 20 times on an episode 4 years later so that all 3 of the guests could memorize the lyrics. And so did everyone else who listened, including me.
Nice.
It ends with, take out your dicks.
Oh, beautiful.
Sorry, take out your dicks. Check out the facts. It's the Hollywood facts, bro.
That might be a song that's in that movie.
Potentially. It did sound like they might have made up some new songs for this movie. Because they were playing something over the background. It sounded really Lonely Island-y.
It was a Red Band trailer. It was a Red Band trailer, so there was some nudity.
Tits on glass.
Yeah. That might be alright.
I don't know. I want to go see it.
Well, I gotta see in a few minutes, maybe. I don't know if Irving's not here yet.
What the hell time is it? Yeah, 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. I gotta get in and see Ratchet and Clank.
I'm gonna go home and yell at my cat for not being this big anymore.
I'm gonna explain to Lloyd the entirety of the movie.
Yes. That cat was so cute, but he was not as cute as
He's
you,
not as
Lloyd.
good as you, Big Lloyd.
That's my Lloyd impression.